What is going on? I am the Word Martian, and today I'm gonna share hopefully some valuable information to you regarding fintech startups. So, this is sort of like a response from the comments I've been getting to the previous videos I made about spending 6 months trying to build a startup app, a fintech startup app. I'm just gonna give advice, some observation, pretty much what I learned throughout the whole process. And yeah, I did get a lot of responses in the comments, and I did get a lot of emails about people asking me for extra information, asking me if we can do some kind of partnership, asking me if I could help them build their own apps. So I'm just gonna try to cover everything all here at once. Hopefully it's not gonna be long. Okay, cool. So I have like a keynote presentation here. It's about 5 slides or 6. And basically, what I'm going to talk about is, so if you have an idea, right? Obviously, the basics is you need to assess the market, you need to have a plan, and you need to know who your competitors are. Specific to financial technology apps, you need to know about compliance, you need to know about the certifications that you need to get in order to get your application or your business into market. The third point, specifically to South Africa, we have something called the Financial Intelligence Act. It basically says it's KYC, like know your customer, like who they are, what they do, is their business legit, can you verify that they've gone through a certain kind of step in verification to actually allow them either to use your application and collect money or loan money or whatever the case. The fourth point is providers. Providers is around, including banks as well. So providers are the people that have already built a piece of what you want to build or a piece of what you might need to get your business into the market. So I'm talking about those kind of people here. And I'm just gonna share someone asked me about the architecture of my app, so I'm just gonna share that as well. Okay, so the first point obviously is your idea relevant? Who are your competitors? So when you assess the market and you come up with a plan, you need to basically answer this question like, is your idea relevant? Does anyone else need it? When I built my app, I didn't really go thorough in this phase, and that's where I think I was at fault. So, and then the third one is if you've identified your competitors, so are your potential competitors failing to satisfy an important business need that would convince you to go ahead and head to head with them? So if you know your competitors and they are doing more or less the similar thing that you want to build, are they lacking? And if they are lacking, is the portion that you want to satisfy big enough for you to be like, cool, I'm just going to build whatever it is that they've already built and then solidify this extra feature that would make me surpass them, basically, in that sense. Like, is it big enough for you to try and do that? If it's not, then you probably should think about something else, because they might just fill that gap while you're still trying to build your app and the features that they have. So yeah, this is basically what that is. The market, find a plan, look at your competitors. Should I build this, or am I just wasting my efforts? Okay, this one is around compliance and certifications. Like, what do I need to go into business, basically? So with most fintechs, obviously they all work around money. And the big question is, are you just going to be like a channel for money to pass through to people? So like sort of like peer to peer, but you're just a middleman. Or is there a time where you're gonna be keeping your customers' money? So for an example, like a savings kind of app or a speed point where you keep the money, people trade, it goes to your account, and then you settle them after a specific time. So are you going to be keeping money for a bit of time? So your client's money or your customer's money, right? So, and then second point, who do you need to be compliant with in order to do so? That is to keep the money in this case. So yeah, you might want to look around, like you probably need some help from MasterCard and Visa. You will need help from a bank, obviously, an acquiring bank. So you sort of make this deal with the bank, and that's where you have that account where you're gonna be settling people for, where when people pay you, it's gonna go to that account. Like the bank really needs to be aware of that. It's like, why are you getting all this kind of money like every day? And there's certain doors that they can open for you. And yeah, that's where the FICA part as well come in terms of, well, this is specific to South Africa. I don't know what they have in other countries, where each and every one of your customer needs to go through this verification step, which says they do have a legit business. The information they provided to me and the documentation is correct. They're not a fraudulent person. They don't have a criminal past which has something to do with finances. I'm not sure if it's overall criminal past or something, criminal record, but like around money basically. So once you verify that, you need to do it per customer that you plan to do business with, per customer or per client. So you need to verify them. So like I'm saying, like if you have like a really massive business idea that you want to do, you might not want to focus on that. So you might try to find someone that already does that FICA part, for an example. Probably with MasterCard and Visa as well, you could probably find someone that's already covered that. So for an example, you might try to do like a payment gateway instead. Someone provides you a payment gateway. If they provide you a payment gateway, which means you can hold the finances, but you don't have to be compliant with MasterCard or Visa, because whoever you get that payment gateway with already is compliant with Master or Visa card. So you just piggybacking on their services. Cool. So FICA, I've just explained that, like, know your customer. So do you need to vet your customers? So that's that. Providers. So what integrations will I need to bring my idea into life? So for an example, will I need my customer's financial history? Is there someone out there that can do that for me? Will I need to know their credit score? Is there someone else that can do that for me? Do I need to vet them or their businesses? Is there someone that already does it? At what level, if any, will I need the bank to get my idea into market? Again, this is a question with the bank. Once again, if you use like a solution that someone else has already built, you might not need to go even that far. They might just offer that to you, and then you get to focus on the idea that you want to build. But all these things are questions that need to be considered. So, for an example, if you're going to be giving out loans, you need to know the person's credit score, for an example. You might need to know the financial history. But do you want to build that? You probably don't. You just want to focus on what you want to do. So you need to identify these kind of providers. Cool. Yeah, that was pretty short, actually. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. When I was building my app, I didn't really follow these kind of things. I just had an idea and I thought it was brilliant. It's going to make me $1 billion. And I just started building it. And then I found out later about these things. And yeah, I was already stuck. But the most important part that I missed was this one and the compliance one. This one, you can go around it, but this one you can't. Like, you need to have this done in order to get your business into play. Yeah, so the other thing that you need to know is there's more to your idea than how you think about it. So, for an example, in my idea, I just wanted to build a mobile app where people could save money and they could save from as little as possible. Okay, sounds simple enough, just a mobile app. So obviously I needed a back end for it, so I had this core API that was doing most of my handling transactions, recordings and stuff. And then I had one database. I don't want to, so it was like a microservice, but not exactly. Like a cross between a microservices and a monolith kind of thing from a data store. So I had the mobile app that talked to the API, and then I had an admin UI. So administration, where you want to settle people, you need to know how much they're going to be settled. And whatever the case, where you need to do some administration to your customers. So that's where that stuff would come in. And then from your left, I had the notification service that dealt with non-urgent communications. So for an example, to say you've deposited this amount of money, here's your reset password, whatever the case, here's some random email about something. The notification service took care of that for me. And I had a payout service, so that was the settlement thing where someone requests a payout, and then that was the service that handled that request and tried to fulfill it. It worked in conjunction with the transaction validator, because I would do that at the point of the settlement where I would validate each transaction before I make it part of the list of transactions to be paid out. The reason for that is because I saw like since the payment gateway I used had a reference where I could check each transaction. I saw there might have been cases where someone dropped like a transaction straight on the database, and if I just settled without even validating, then sometimes you'd end up paying people more than you should, or whatever the case. So yeah, I hope this helps a lot, and if anyone has any questions, you can just drop them in the comments or whatever the case. But yeah, this is pretty much what I think in response to like my advice and observations on how to start this and the things that you should consider. This isn't more on how to start this. This is more like things to consider when you want to build a fintech app. So yeah, I hope you liked this video and I hope it was valuable to you. Peace out. I will check you again in 6 months.